And for this video, we're going to talk about ornamental grasses and what to do with the different types, because unfortunately, there's more than one, and each one has a little quirk to it. So first we're going to start out with the very popular blue fescue, the electric bluegrass. What we do with these, pretty much wait till spring, thin out the dead with our hands and fingertips, and that's it. If there's a bald spot starting to form on it, that might be a good time to divide it, cut it in half, replant it, and get it to fill back out. But that's blue fescue, nice and easy. Then we have sedges. Though botanically speaking, not really a grass, they are sold in the grass department because pretty much that's where we put them. Everyone thinks they're a grass and we sell them like that, but botanically speaking, not really a grass. And what we do with this is for kind of fall, winter, I like to kind of trim them up like this. That way it just evens them up, cleans them up, and they don't look so moppy. But we don't cut them back to the ground like other grasses that I'm going to talk about. And then we just kind of pluck out the brown foliage at the end of winter and clean them up that way. So nice and easy. Then we have like the Mondo Grasses. So they come in green or black. With those, again, just kind of lightly shear them or trim them if they need it, or they're kind of irregular shaped. Otherwise, leave them alone and then pluck out the dead when we are in spring and they just need that cleanup after winter. This also allows you to cut out any dead foliage or winter kill on them. Then we go to the Pampas Grass. These are the grasses that are going to have that big poofy fluorescent, the feather that everyone loves, that you can do lots of arts and crafts with. These guys are a little touchy in the mid-Columbia. A lot of times they're rated as a zone 7, which means that they are going to be kind of on the border for us. So I like to leave them up, do not thin, do not cut them up, because I like to let the bulk of the foliage insulate the roots. I also, when they're freshly planted in the ground, or like their first season out of being in a pot and put into your yard, I like to mulch them a bit. That insulates the roots, keeps them from freezing out over winter if we have a cold winter. And by cold winter, single digits, 0 degrees Fahrenheit. So I leave them up. If this starts looking ratty, you could cut this out, the fluorescence. But I like to leave the foliage alone until spring. Then I cut them back. You need to have like really, really sharp scissors or cutters for these. Some people use string trimmers. If you look on the internet, there's also a burning method to them. But I always recommend wearing a good, decent coat when working with them, because the paper cuts are fierce on Pampas grass. And just good, sturdy tools. For the rest of these, it's all pretty much the same. So your bloodgrass, your hardy fountain grasses. This is the redhead. There's also a black flowering that's really cool. It has black versus a red fluorescence. Like Little Bunny, the switch grasses, Shenandoah, Hot Rod, Cheyenne Sky, any of those guys. Anyone with a seed head that kind of looks like a fiber optic cable, in my opinion. Those all are very similar. The miscanthus grass. So a seed head like a plume. More switchgrass. These all are very easy and simple to do. We just take it and cut them like that. You can use a pair of scissors on bigger clumps. I like a head shear. Also, a fun little tip is use a little bit of twine and tie them up. And that way it just keeps it as a nice, neat bundle, and then you can dispose of them in the compost pile, the field like we do, or into the garbage can, unfortunately. So, there's my twine. So yeah, you just kind of tie it up around, knot it, cut it down. Nice and easy that way. Put it and dispose of it. So all of those are very similar. I like to lay them up as winter decor. Birds will feed on the seeds. Sometimes, you know, they'll also kind of hide in here for protection. But I like to leave them up until our winter winds pretty much decimate them. Some of them, like the bloodgrass, that's going to be sooner. So bloodgrass and miscanthus can take quite a bit of beating. As soon as they start laying down, hack them to the ground, clean them up. Your switch grasses, for the most part, and the fountain grasses, you can pretty much leave those up until about February, March, and then take them down. I just like how that looks, that orangey brown color. Looks nicely on a cloudy day. It stands out like today. And then we have the ever popular, last but not least, the Karl Foerster feather reed grass and their brethren like Overdam or El Dorado. These guys are an evergreen similar to the blue fescue. This is that grass that you see a lot in commercial properties and residential areas for general landscaping. So like the wind is kind of beating up the fluorescent stalks.
Oh, wow.
So what I like to do is just kind of give them a cut, just to kind of clean them up a little bit. They are an evergreen for the most part. Some winters can kill them back to the ground. I let winter decide that, and then I either take them to the ground or I just kind of clean up the brown in the spring and cut them out down and even them up a bit. So that's grasses in a nutshell. Thanks for watching.